Massage therapist or masseuse. Have you ever had a session turn sexual with a client? How did it go down? Story 1. My friend was giving a massage to a client and things were getting really flirty. She was an attractive woman and he pushed it. Well, I guess he sucked at reading clues because she was married and he was friendly. So she filed a complaint against them and he ended up losing his license. Story 2. When I was a teenager, my friend's mom was a massage therapist. One day I went over there to hang out. She had a brand new RAV4 in the driveway. My other friends and I always made jokes about how she gave happy endings. Riffing off her job, your mom jokes were popular for us then. Well, when we started asking him how his mom got a brand new $35,000 premium package RAV4, he told us one of his mom's clients gave it to her for free. The jokes suddenly were too awkward to tell anymore. Story 3. My massage therapist told me of a time a very hot woman was in for the first time. He told her to undress to her comfort level and left her to do so. Usually at this point, you then lay down under the sheet, but he entered a few minutes later to find her sitting naked in a chair, asking what she should do next. He gives more detailed instructions now. Story 4. My mom was a massage therapist for a few years. She never shared when she had issues like that, but one couple would come in for separate sessions about every 2 to 3 weeks. One day, the wife jokes that the massages are better than sex. Since they're all on good terms, my mom jokes with the husband about it the next time he's in. Finally, he pulls off his head out the pillow long enough to say, "Don't make me choose. I can't choose." Story 5. I'm a physiotherapist, but have extensive training in deep tissue massage and dry needling. Pretty much every time I treat my girlfriend, it ends with sex. Probably the closest thing to an answer you're gonna get. You're probably not gonna hear any stories about people with licenses doing anything sexual with someone, as if it ever got out, they would immediately lose their billing number. But I'll say, I've worked in a gym before where the RMT was sleeping with a few of his patients, in and outside of the gym. Story 6. In 15 years, I've had 4 guys try to turn the session sexual. Grosses me out. I make sure to give their name and phone number to all of my therapist friends as a heads up, because if they tried with me, they're going to try another therapist until they get lucky. Story 7. My mom and dad ran their own massage therapy business. My mom always said, if a guy started giving any kind of signal, that she would just start asking him about his mother. She said it never failed her. Story 8. My sister wife had a male client who after the session decided to jerk off when she left him to allow him to get dressed. She saw he had jerked off all over her massage table and had gone through a lot of tissues trying to clean it up. So the salon issued a warning on his account to remove all tissues and towels from the room once the massage is done. My wife said it was the funniest thing when he came in again. After the massage, she calls the front desk and 2 girls come in and take everything out of the room. He got dressed really fast and left in shame and never came back. Edit. Haha, I didn't check Reddit for 6 hours and things went crazy. My sister wife is a joke between myself and my sister-in-law, my wife's sister. She knows my Reddit account. It's her story, which is why I included it. Story 9. I was in the military stationed overseas, and I had a friend who had frequented a massage parlor. One day he was getting a massage and had the lady asked if she was interested in anything else. He refused, but she was very persistent. He continued to say no, and after about the 3rd time, she shoved her thumb in his ass and made him leave. He only told me as far as I know. We never spoke of it again. Story 10. A friend of mine is a masseuse, and when we first chatted about our respective careers, I couldn't help but asking whether he'd ever had a saucy encounter while working. His reply was, when I begun, I was always hanging out to massage attractive women. I quickly realized that it's 99% middle-aged men who've let themselves go and have joint issues. Story 11. A friend of mine got a hand job. He told me the woman just started doing it randomly. Funny enough, he explained to me with a serious face that he thought he would get in trouble because of it. I burst out laughing at the thought of some undercover cop touching his dick and saying, "I've got you now." Story 12. I've had a girlfriend that was a physical therapist and she decided to give me a massage. Something she had never done for me before, and I expected it was going to end up sexual. But she found something about my spine that concerned her and she started to manipulate the sore spot. It was incredibly painful. I was in agony and she kept doing it, so I got mad and told her to stop. It ruined the mood because she was also mocking me for not being able to take it. Story 13. I used to work at this massage in Florida. It wasn't anything fancy, but it did the job. And we had a couple of regulars that would come in maybe once a week. So this one regular that always asked for me came in one day and we started the usual small talk while I was preparing the things. And he says that he just recently got out of a really bad marriage. Our massage place isn't the one that does happy endings, but I've given a hand job to a client before. So this guy isn't bad looking, maybe 7 out of 10? Good job, nice car. He always tips nice. So towards the end of the massage, he asked if he could get extra. I was confused at first and said, you can always get a shampoo or go in our massage chair for an extra fee. He said, no, I mean, can you do something extra? At this point, I know what he meant and I smirked. So he flipped over to lay on his back and face me, and I went to whisper in his ear, Epstein didn't kill himself. Story 14. A female friend of mine confided once she was getting a massage at a relatively reputable place and that the masseuse was getting her pretty worked up. She's a bit of a flirt and would have probably been fine with some sex, but he just massaged her all over and then kissed her full on the mouth and finished the session. And that was it. She was sort of flabbergasted. Dunno if she went back. She wasn't one to fabricate this stuff. It was a hilarious story. Story 15. My parents and I were staying at a fancy hotel in Southeast Asia in the late 90s. My mom and I decided to visit their salon to get a cream hair rinse, which included a head massage. I was assigned the male masseuse, who immediately made me feel uncomfortable. I then spent the entire time slapping his hand away as he kept reaching down my shirt into my bra and grabbing at my breasts. I was entirely unequipped to deal with it and never said a word to the management or my mom. I was 15 years old. Story 16. Sometimes she has to massage people. She told my dad one time that as she was massaging a woman in the private room, the woman tapped her, telling my mom to go out with her, as in, let's have sex. Weird, but I've heard weirder interactions with her and her customers. Story 17. Me and my friends visited a masseuse one time just for the hell of it. We were in Vegas with some free time and it sounded relaxing, right? Well, we each go into our separate rooms with our own masseuse, and when we finish and come out, my friends are talking about how nice it was. Then I asked if they also thought it was weird that they massaged their butts, and they just went quiet. Turns out I was molested. Story 18. My friend convinced me to go into a place that he found on Backpage because he claimed that they were licensed professionals, and if I didn't want anything extra, I could just get a legit massage. Anyway, she asked 3 times if I wanted a hand job. After continuing to refuse, she yelled at me and kicked me out because it was a place for special massages only. After not getting what I wanted I paid for, I requested a refund and she expertly pushed me out the door with a business card to contact for a refund. Story 19. I had this one middle-aged female client that was super nice and always had a friendly disposition about her. Over the course of a few appointments, she would move the sheets further down her chest. One day, her right breast was fully exposed after the massage was over. She had massive. I never said anything to her or acted upon it. I continued advising her about her post-session therapy that she could do to minimize her pain, and then left the room so she could dress. The cost of schooling and hours of studying I did to get my license was worth way more than a big titty cougar. Story 20. My brother told me a story about a time he got a massage. He told me it was really shitty, and after 10 minutes, the masseuse asked if he wanted a massage down there. He said no, my fiancé is in the next room over. The remainder of the massage was just as terrible as the first 10 minutes with a hefty dash of awkwardness thereafter.